What's up everyone, welcome to the At My Chord Melody challenge. If you want to learn how to play and compose chord melody arrangements, and if you want to have the chance of winning a beautiful color, all solid mahogany tenor ukulele, you're in the right place. The aim of this challenge is to teach you all the basics that you need to have a good understanding of chord melody. In the challenge, you will learn the first part of an arrangement of We Are the Champions by Queen, how chord melody works and different ways of playing chords. And you'll also get to work on song techniques. On top of that, you will write your first chord melody arrangement. Sounds like a lot, but I will break it down into small chunks so that it is very easy. One thing I want to emphasize is the fact that this challenge is for everyone. You don't need any prior knowledge, as I will be explaining everything from scratch, and you will be able to play and compose chord melody arrangements within the 5 lessons of the At My Chord Melody challenge. On the other hand, if you already have experience with it, I have something for you too. In fact, I will help you take it to the next level, showing you techniques and a few other different things that you can do to make your arrangements cooler. So it's really a win-win situation. Now, for day 1 of the challenge, you learn how to play half of the first part of We Are the Champions. But before we start, what is a chord melody arrangement? Essentially, chord melody means that you play chords and melody at the same time. If you think about it, piano players do this very often. So, this is the melody we'll be arranging into a chord melody during this lesson. When I play it, pay attention to the chords that are written on top, because soon you'll be adding them. Anyway, let's play it. 1, 2, 3... Okay, now let's start working on the chord melody arrangement. By the way, if you're watching this video once the challenge is over, you can still work on this, and for every assignment that you will complete, I will give you personalized feedback. So you simply start with the melody, and you have fret 3, 6 and 8 on the second string. Super easy. Again, 1, 2, 3. You might be wondering why I'm counting to 3. The thing is that this arrangement is in 6/8, so the rhythm will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you can find We Are the Champions written in 12/8. This is similar, but I decided to go for 6/8 because it's easier to follow on the score, which by the way you can access for free. Check the description or my link in bio. Now it's time to add your first chord. So your melody note is fret 8, which is a C, and the chord is C minor. So you're going to use this C minor shape, 0, 7, 8, 6. But there is a small problem. One of the first things to remember is that in chord melody, you want the melody note to be the highest one. So we're gonna drop fret 6 on the first string, and you simply strum 0, 7, 8. This is actually a C5, but you're going to play C minor straight after with an arpeggio. In fact, you will play C5, 7, 6, 8, 7. And again, 4, 5, 6. And now, let's see what happens in measure 3. So the next chord is B flat 6, which I'm playing like this. So 0, 5, 6, 5. Basically, this is the same shape that you use for G, which I'm sure you're familiar with. You play this twice, like this. And by the way, in order to keep the arrangement simple for the right hand, just use your thumb. Let's play everything you learned so far. 1, 2, 3. You might have noticed that after the first B flat 6, I lift the fingers of the left hand slightly. So I don't do this, but this. It doesn't make a huge difference, so do what you're comfortable with. Anyway, this is the main part you have to learn for today. In fact, all you have to do now is add a few variations. So you play the same melody, 3, 6, 8, then C5, And then the arpeggio for C minor is slightly different. In fact, you have 7, 6, 5, and 7. And then you end with B flat 6. All together, 1, 2, 3. If you don't have time, you can skip this variation. Anyway, let's see what happens next. Here you repeat what you learned at the very beginning. So you have just bear in mind that the last B flat 6 lasts less, but this will make sense when you work on the next part. By the way, if you are a more experienced player, I will show you a few changes that you can do later in the video. Now you have to work on the last part of the melody for today, this one. As this part is quite fast, you're gonna play a chord only on the last note. So you will have 3, 3, 5, 3, 6 and C minor using this shape, 0, 3, 3, 3. As the C minor lasts for the entire measure, you're gonna play it again but with a different shape. The one used before, 0, 7, 8, 6. And then for the next measure, you play B flat 6. Although this shape sounds more like a G minor because the G is the lowest note of the chord. But anyway, I still feel that this one works quite well. Let's put this last part together. 4, 5, 6. Okay, now let's play the entire arrangement very slowly, which is your assignment for this lesson, but more about this later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Cool, now a few tips for more experienced players. So if you want, for the main melody line, you can add a hammer-on and a slide, like this. So 3, hammer on to 6, and then slide to 8. One more time, 1, 2, 3. Then when you get to measure 3, change the arpeggio to this. So you have 7, 6, 10, 7. Even though you're playing the same notes as before, you have this nice sound, you see? And again, 7, 6, 10, 7. You can use this in measure 6 as well. Then, when you get to the end of measure 7, play it like this. 3, 3, 5 pull off to 3, and then a quick bend on fret 6. This will make it sound bluesy. And again, now let me play the entire arrangement with these variations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Okay, by the way, for my right hand, I use the thumb for the 4th and the 3rd string, the index for the 2nd string, and the middle finger for the 1st string. And now, let's talk about the assignment. So your assignment is to learn and record the arrangement I taught you today. You can play it very slowly. On the other hand, if you feel that you want to challenge yourself, try to add some of the variations that I showed you. Let me tell you that I've created a folder where you can find all the material for this challenge. You will find the tabs and also a Guitar Pro MP3 file so that you can be 100% sure of how the arrangement should sound. You can access this folder from my link in bio if you're watching on Instagram or from the description if you're watching on YouTube. By the way, this is totally free. Remember to use the hashtag @mychordmelody and mention me in your stories or posts. So make sure you add @ukulelelovers1. By doing that, I can see your assignments and you'll have the chance of winning a fabulous Scala all solid mahogany tenor ukulele. Moreover, I will reshare your work in my stories and you will receive personalized feedback from me. By the way, you can also join the challenge through Facebook or YouTube. Just remember to tag me. Having said that, I'm looking forward to your assignments and I will see you in a few days with the second lesson of this challenge. Ciao!